What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Black Ronin back on that again with another banger for y'all today. And guys, excuse the background noise, we got some construction going on, but fuck it, we still gonna get this video popping out here for y'all today. But y'all, topic of this video, guys, why do Americans hate minimalist living? Living below their needs, like actually living below their needs until they get to where they want to be in life. And that's the biggest topic right here today, guys. Why can't people just live simple and enjoy it? Honestly, guys, that's the best way of life. You know, I never really understand why Americans go so crazy for building credit when they don't even have, like, literally, if you lose that job, and because like good jobs, like nowadays, coming across them, especially you're used to being paid really, really good. Trying to come across another job like that, it's gonna take time. Yeah, good luck with that. So if you happen to lose that really high paying job and you're in all this debt, you're screwed. And guess what? All that stuff gets taken from you. And then boom, homeless and you owe money. So I never understood the whole credit thing. It makes sense if you already got money, but most people ain't balling like that. All this shit about build a good credit score and all that shit, it's all bullshit, man. I don't care what anybody says. Like, if you're already well established, like you got good, like really good income, and still, like you're very smart with it. You're not getting in so much debt where it's like it literally like your debt outweighs how much you actually make. You see where I'm going with this, but if you get into a little bit of debt from time to time, for certain things, or heck, or you just want to have credit just in case, let's say for whatever reason you lose a card or something and you got that extra, credit card here. Okay, I lost this card. I got this here for backup, or so I never have to touch any money on my debit card. Then I can use my, I can go ahead and use my credit cards and then just pay everything back with my debit. Just to keep things safe. That's understandable. I don't knock people who think like that. But for the average American, do not have any type of literacy when it comes down to credit and all that. And guess what? The average American has trash and bad credit. It's very, very common. And that's why it's such that's why it's a lot of money in helping a lot of people with bad credit. So I think it's just crazy. I think this whole credit thing needs to be reevaluated, especially for these young Gen Zers like myself out here. Now, me, I'm debt free. I thought about almost going into debt at one time for school, but I'm so glad I never made that decision. I'm not in college. Only went into debt maybe one time ever, but it was something I was able to, pay off really quickly. If I go into debt, it's for very, very tiny things that I can pay off within like, the next 2 weeks, next paycheck, That's just me. Yeah, that little tiny debt. That's what I'll go ahead and mess with if I really, really need to. But most Americans ain't got that type of mindset. These guys will go into debt for cars, which I don't even know why. If you're single, why the hell do you even need a car? Unless you live in the middle of nowhere and everything's a massive ass commute, then yes, that's understandable why you need a car. But in a major city where you got Uber, and I get it, Uber adds up, it gets expensive. But at the end of the day, like, I would argue Uber is way more cheaper than, a car for the long term, if you think about it. Because, like, literally think guys for a second. When it comes down to a car, maintaining it takes a lot of money. If you get in a car accident, could set you back. Insurance, you gotta think about. License plates, renewal of stickers and all this stuff. There is so much that goes into owning a car. It just, like, I generally hate driving, guys. Like, I don't even like driving. Like, the last time I drove was probably like back in Florida. When I used to live there, that's why I'm born and raised. Now I live out here in Texas. And don't get me wrong, I still drive from time to time, to help out friends or whatever. But at the end of the day, I generally don't drive. Like, I just think it's a waste of money if you're a single person. You know, you don't have a family. Yeah, there's no reason why you need a car. You know, you got the bus system, you got Uber, you know, and me, I really don't go to that many places like that. I really don't. You know, I literally get off of work. I work on new ideas for my other YouTube channel, Storm Dagger Films. You guys can check that out as well. If you're into movie and TV content, that's the main channel I'm actually trying to grow. But if this one pop off, I'll post more on here too. But this is kind of like my real life personal topics type of videos. I really don't expect this channel to really get much views or really grow much at all. Because I mean, like, yeah, people are starting to gravitate to more of this type of content. But at the end of the day, like, people want come to YouTube or just watch videos for entertainment purposes by a long shot. You know, these type of videos don't really get that many views, and that's okay. If it happens to blow up, great, fantastic. But anyway, guys, so yeah, guys, owning a car makes 0 cents for a lot of young people. And I'm just like, bro, like, you can save so much money, you know, by not having a car. But you got these parents out here and all these other people, these old heads out here. Oh, you need a car. You need a car. You ain't about to catch no public transportation. That's not reliable. Well, neither is a fucking car unless you're paying for that shit for me. Now, if you're paying for that shit, awesome. But if I gotta deal with that shit all by myself, that's a lot of money a young person gotta take care of. And guess what? If you expect me to maintain a car with these jobs out here, and in today's economy, fuck out of here. Ain't no way in hell. Like, I'm telling y'all, you know, like, when it comes down to transportation, at most, I will say the best decision I ever did was back in the day in my Florida years. I did have a motorcycle. That was probably the like the most fun vehicle I ever had. Saved a lot of money, literally like $2-3 on gas. I mean, I had a blast, man. Like, yeah, motorcycles, that's probably the only vehicle I would ever consider to get again. In terms of cars, if I do get another car in the future, you know, if I'm balling like that. By the way, I'm gonna pay cash for everything I want. That's another thing I got to get into. But yeah, you know, like, I'll probably get a Tesla, you know, just because, like, it's electric. You know, I don't have to do much to it. Really, just tires, really, and, you know, worrying about the battery. You know, that's really about it. But yeah, Tesla probably be my go-to in terms of cars in the future. Something I would really like. But honestly, I like two wheels, man. Motorcycles, give me that shit all day. Put me in an area where, you know, it's not the biggest place. And that's another thing too. Walking distance. I love living somewhere where I can walk to everywhere I need. You know, like, that's so much better, you know, versus owning a car where I gotta drive miles just to go anywhere. And heck, if I want to go have fun, catch a fucking plane, catch a bus. Like, you can save so much money. That's just how I look at it. But Americans don't think like that. I don't know why. Everybody like, oh, I gotta have a car. Ooh, oh man, this like crazy, man. Like, it's wild to me. So, moving on from that, guys, let's talk about when it comes down to, like, living. And I just see all these people out here. When it comes down to living in a city, people say, oh man, cost of living going crazy. Well, let's try to think outside the box. Let's try to look into YouTube, all these other things, remote jobs, and let's try to go ahead and get that money right and get out of these major cities and go somewhere less populated. Because guess what? Rent is way more cheaper. And you actually got a shot at buying land, you know, which is very, very important. I think every man, you know, should look forward into buying land one of these days. You know, pay cash for everything you get, you know, because land is actually pretty cheap in some parts of the U.S. You have to really search for it, but, you know, but again, my definition of cheap probably way different from your definition of cheap. I'm talking about anything under 5,000. You know, you can definitely find that, but it's gonna be in the middle of nowhere, and that's okay. And I think more and more Americans need to start thinking like that, because looking around, guys, these major cities are going to shit. Tampa, like, dude, where I'm from, Tampa, Florida, that place is going to shit right now. Like outside of hurricane season, we already know how hurricane season gonna do. But that's only detrimental if you live in like the Bay Area. But outside of that, like, uh, excuse me, y'all, but I had to burp for a second. But yeah, outside of that, guys, Tampa is falling apart. Everybody's leaving. I get friends all the time be like, dude, nobody fucking stays here. And I said, yeah, it's expensive as fuck. And then the jobs just don't keep up with the rent. And then when it does, like, it just seems like the rent just keeps on skyrocketing more and more. So I say, man, like, why stay somewhere and struggle? Be like, oh, it's opportunity. That opportunity don't mean shit if you can't afford it. If you can't even afford a roof over your head, fuck all that. Like, y'all boys is just, I don't be understanding some of y'all Americans out here at times. Now I get it, it does take a lot of money to move. Like, believe me, I know. Like, but at the end of the day, it needs to be on your radar. And heck, I'm still trying to move again. If I do, look in other areas of the U.S., I'm looking at probably like Utah, even Montana, and by the way, I'm black, by the way. Yeah, people wondering for my voice. Be like, you black? You want to go to Utah, Montana? What the fuck? Hey, listen, times are different. Think outside the box. Stop thinking so negative. Take risk out there. That's what life is all about. You get one fucking life, so do it. I don't care what anybody else thinks. And yeah. And also New Mexico. That's another area too. Places most Americans tend to not to go to is where I'm aiming to go to. You know why? Because I notice when I go through places like that, and even places that uses like people used to tell me, oh man, they're hella racist over there. You should be careful. Not saying those people don't exist, but at the end of the day, it's pretty fucking peaceful. I ain't even gonna lie. I met some dope ass people. Just going through like the sticks, man. When I was leaving Florida, like, we was coming to Alabama, Louisiana, and what else we were going to? But I ain't gonna out like Alabama caught me off guard. Like, they were so friendly, they were so cool. Alabama really, really awesome. Like, I like the people over there when I was coming past. So, hey, I got all love for Alabama. But yeah, like, I was just like guys, just think outside the box. Like, these major cities are just not it. And people say, oh, no, man. Like, I love my home city. I'll never leave. Like, y'all motherfuckers will really die just to stay in your own fucking city. Fuck is wrong with y'all? I just don't get it, y'all. And hell, at this point, things are getting so crazy here in America. In the future, I plan on trying to leave this motherfucker. I'm looking at probably going to either, most likely somewhere in Africa. I'm looking into Kenya one of these days in the future when I get my second YouTube channel, Dagger Films, because I got a feeling that shit is finna start popping very, very soon. And also, I got a good business model too to go along with it. Because, guys, I ain't trying to work a job for the rest of my life. I'd much rather suffer, be debt-free for the moment, grind on my purpose, and not give a fuck what anybody else got to say about it. Because at the end of the day, I know in the future, I'm going to have that last laugh. And while everybody who doubted me, they're going to be the same motherfuckers. Hell, I'm witnessing this shit in real fucking time right now. Motherfuckers coming back out of nowhere. Hey, man, I see you doing your thing. Hey, you think you can spot me a little bit? Man, fuck off. Fuck you, nigga. What wrong with that motherfucker? Like, for real, man. Like, I can't stand people who doubt me. And they see me putting in constant work. And then they got the audacity to pull up like, oh, hey, man, I see you doing your thing. I'm so proud. All that fake shit. When you did not contribute or had anything positive to say before, now you think I owe you something because I actually worked hard. You can do the same shit. Like, your ass is just asked out. It ain't my duty to go help you. Hell, I be giving people the game, but they don't fucking listen. Instead they listen. Like, I ain't gonna lie, man. Like, I can't get too mad at parents out there for saying, oh, go to college, do all this other stuff, because that worked for them. But this ain't the fucking 90s. This shit ain't the 80s no more. Like, rent is crazy. Like, to even have a family, it is just absolutely ridiculous, And hell, like, if you stay in somewhere like Los Angeles, like over there in California, Them motherfuckers for some, safe, they spending like 4,000, 5,000 if you got a big ass family. That shit is insane. Florida might be expensive, but it ain't that motherfucking expensive. I mean, shit, $5,000 in Los Angeles. That shit is wild, man. Like, it should be absurd for renters, like for people who rent, to be charging that much money. Yeah, man, it's crazy. But start thinking outside the box, people. Look at the tiny homes, look at all that stuff. The Boxable. I think Elon Musk, he's behind Boxable. Start looking into that stuff. But that's just me, guys. I like living simple. I don't know why Americans don't actually live simple. Cause you got motherfuckers be like, oh yeah, man, I live simple. Instead of driving that, well, yeah, no, they gonna hit you with some shit like this. Yeah, man, I traded in my 2018 Lexus for a 2017 Lexus. Like, bitch, what the fuck are you saving? Talking about, oh, yeah, I'm a minimalist. So you got some capping ass motherfuckers out there talking about they a motherfucking minimalist. Fuck out of here, man. Like, I gotta laugh at some of y'all. But guys, I had to cook real quick with this one. Hopefully this resonate with y'all. Hopefully y'all got some good laughs too as I was going through this shit. I don't really swear this much in my videos, but this will just have me really passionate and on top of this topic. But y'all let me know what you guys think. Why do Americans hate living very minimalistic lives? And also, if you're a woman, comment below. Are you actually a minimalist? Do you like that type of lifestyle? Because in my personal opinion, you have way more freedom. You're not bound to all this materialistic bullshit. And also another thing, when it comes down to credit, again, like, you don't want to be bound to all this stuff, credit and all that shit dangling over your fucking head. Like, that is not a good way to live life. That's why mental health is going crazy. People are losing their minds. They're stressing at their workplace. They can't leave. You're in this fucking trap and you can't do shit about it. But that's not how I want to live. Nobody should live like that. Think debt free as much as you can. Stay out of that stuff. Again, now real quick, I'm not a financial advisor, but I just want to throw that out there. Do whatever you want at the end of the day. But y'all have a good one. It's your boy Black Ronin. Like and subscribe, share. I'll be catching y'all next video.